CFR Network, CFR Sports, UFC 281. I want to do a real quick overview of the press conference, which was very, very uneventful, but the card itself lived up to expectations. Indeed, a stacked cards, UFC record in regards to first round finishes as well. Let's go main event down. Let's go main event all the way down. As per the prediction, the only way Israel was going to win this, and I will say Israel is definitely more skilled striking wise than Alex Pereira. But Alex is clearly has the size and power advantage. Israel did the right thing, but I think he should have continued in that wrestling, grappling sort of vein, where indeed he had quite a bit of success. But I saw after that, I may be wrong, but it just looked like it took a lot out of him doing it, and clearly it would because he's not a grappler, he's a striker, so that's going to tax the physicality a lot more. Respect to the champ and new for mixing it up and not necessarily just literally having a striking affair, because this is indeed mixed martial arts. The majority of the fight was contended on the feet, but it was smart of both of them to mix up the grappling. Alex was indeed losing that fight, and he pulled out. And let's use it. He pulled out a Leon Edwards. It's almost like, I mean, if Francis comes back, let's slightly just do a sidebar, and he defends his strap. Will we see the same thing where it's competitive, but in essence, Francis is going to win every single, well, 3 out of the 4 rounds. He gets to the 5th round, and he's going to get stopped by John Jones potentially to do that fight. Because, like, yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't. It was quite similar in respect to how the fight was going, but I would say Alex was a lot more competitive. And you know what I will say? That was one of the best performances of late from Mr. Israel or Israel Adesanya. We kind of saw him back to his old ways, still was, not taking as many chances as he used to, but obviously we know he's a champion and, 4 ounce gloves. He's lost twice to him in kickboxing. So there was a lot on the line. I was thoroughly enjoyed that main event. Clearly there is going to be a rematch. He's done his thing in regards to almost breaking records. So we will see a part 2. Israel's going to take his time. He did turn up for the press conference. Wasn't his usual self. And obviously had a very short time in regards to the amount of questions and stuff, but he seems to have taken it in his stride. I think mentally now, 3 defeats from the same gentleman. That's definitely going to take its toll. I think both of them need to go back to the drawing board. He was on the way to winning that, and he made comments to say that, in essence, they shouldn't have Mark Goddard, as the Americans say, or Mark Goddard, shouldn't have stopped the fight, and he was still there, but he wasn't there. He was moving. He was definitely moving, not necessarily offensively. Clearly, he didn't have that conversation with him in the locker room to say, look, I mean, I'm very confident that I indeed will win said fight. But on the off chance I'm up against the cage and I'm getting mobbed on, don't stop it unless I'm obviously on, face down, ass up kind of thing. I'm totally out. Don't do no TKO business. I want to get KO'd again, like the kickboxing loss, one of the kickboxing loss I got from Addicts. If that was said, maybe he would have let it go a bit longer, but he was eating some shots, man. I mean, it's entertaining. As I said, I was thoroughly entertained by the whole of this card. Um, I mean, I think let's stay on the main. If when they do the rematch, unless Israel this is exactly what he's going to need to do. He's going to need to dedicate at least 60 to 70% of his camp in wrestling, grappling, offensively. Defensively, he's cool anyway. He showed that it is quite amateurish. No, uh, should I even use? Yeah, let's just say that in regards to the things he was doing on the ground, the transitions, he's clearly not used to that because again, they're both strikers. Alex indeed needs to do the same thing. He's working with Glover just Teixeira, so I see a very similar fight, but and here's the criticism to the champ. You wasn't active enough. You should have been a lot more active. Um, you should have used your legs a lot more, knees. But you did the thing ultimately. Next fight, rematch, part four. I want to see a lot more activity from you. He's got to come. Israel needs to come and take the strap, but you need to impose your will and dominance and showing the power early. Um, but yeah, very, very happy. And as I said, I'm underdog, betting on the underdogs and all that. It was a nice little return. Yeah, no. Co-main event, Carla Esparza, two-time strawweight champ, took on now new Weili for the strawweight strap. And you crazy Yanks were booing Carla Esparza. I don't know if this is leaking over from the last fight with Rose, where she won the strap back. But it was weird as hell. Weird, 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 weird. Um, but at the same time, cup half full. It was nice to see Weili get the pop from the crowd, as they say. She speaks very little English, but one thing we cannot deny is this young lady can fight. And she's entertaining every time she is in that cage. She's entertaining. She's putting her foot to the floor. She's marching forward, kicks, spinning stuff. The grappling's excellent as well. I mean, that give them 50K each as well. I mean, someone was saying the champs should be getting no bonuses and all that because they're getting pay-per-view points. But look, UFC is a very successful organization. Big card, MSG, 50K to Israel, 50K to Alex, 50K to Carlos Esparza, 50K to Alex, 50K to Dustin Poirier, 50K to Michael Chandler, which again was an entertaining fight. I actually wanted Michael Chandler to win, even though I do like Dustin Poirier and he's from that boot. But I don't know. I just wanted to see a little bit of more of a mix up or so, but I knew that Dustin would pull it out of the bag. He's got the experience. Even well, they're both very much experienced. In the UFC, Dustin's clearly more experienced. There's a lot of miles on both of them. Michael, the Iron One, first round, it was amazing, man. Nice back and forth. He did what he's supposed to be doing. which was mix it up. This is mixed martial arts. He throws absolutely everything into his into everything he's doing. He puts it all out on the line. He's him and Justin Gaethje are two of the most exciting fighters in that division. I mean, Justy's been interim champ. You know, there might be some gold for Chandler, but with Islam there, I mean, I would still would like to see that because he's got a good wrestling pedigree as well. He obviously wants to use his hands more, but yes, 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 yes. Diamond one does it. Poor Frankie at bantamweight, three divisions, former lightweight champion, who never used to cut weight. Uh, got brutally KO'd again. Chris Gutierrez, who's very humble in victory. Just went out there and did the thing, man. Very much underrated. Uh, it would have been nice for Frankie to win, but the chances were slim to none. Unfortunately, age does it does catch up with you. It certainly does. And it was terrible that he's had his children in the audience. I mean, if they would have given him pretty much a give me fight, you know, it wouldn't have been that bad. It really wouldn't have been that bad. So it'd been more competitive. So it may have been like a decision victory or loss. Obviously it would have been better if you retired on a win, but it's very sad to see him out cold like that. But congratulations, he's got him on his records now, Mr. Gutierrez. Dan Hooker finally back in the win column. Perfect fight. Um, Slightly different style in regards to the stance and stuff and the way he was moving he was using his arms as like a range fighting kind of thing. Claudio, big step up in competition, clearly a submission specialist. You gotta throw your hands a bit more, man. All this on your bottom Imanari roll business. Allow it, man. What are you doing? Second round, surprisingly, he got to the second round. Dan Hooker looked real good. If he can keep to that and use that range and not get into those firefights, he's still got a lot more potentially left in the tank. But again, he's taken some damage and some punishment. Brad Riddell, Renato Moicano looked real good, man. First round, used his length. The jab was perfect. Striking was on point. Submission specialist did the thing. Nice to see him bounce back. He's not. I think he needs to. I mean, he got the win clearly, but he doesn't look physically the same as he used to. Am I losing it or something? He looks like he's not training as much or like lifting weights as much. But maybe this is his. I don't even know how old he is, but yeah, congratulations on the win. Ryan Spann came in there and spanked Dominick Reyes, who's lost. Is this 5 in a row now? 4 in a row? He's been knocked the F out. Unfortunately, nice character. Um, some people have him, as myself, beating John Jones. Wasn't his night, man. 1 minute and 20 seconds is all it took. Ryan Spann coming off the Contender Series. I've kind of slept on him, kind of, kind of. I knew I mean, the last three fights, I've kind of started to take a lot more notice. This guy's a problem. I mean, I don't take much of this. I only train for 3 weeks business. I mean, I know what that's nice marketing, Ryan Spann. But I don't believe you. I don't believe that. You be training, you be putting in that work. I think what you're saying is you're taking it more serious now. But yes, yes. Mr. White said he should be jumping to 9 or 8 now in the lightweight division. Question is, what do we do with Dominick Reyes? Dana said it depends what he wants to do, but it's a tough one. He's had a dramatic fall from grace. I think he needs just some lower competition just to get himself back in the win column, get that confidence back up, just like with most of these people. But the problem is they're getting paid too much. They're not unless they're really big stars like Conor McGregor. He can probably call out at the time. Well, no, he couldn't. Not at this point, but you know what I'm saying. And let's get on to one of the best performances of total domination. Women's flyweight, Erin Blanchfield, Molly whopped Molly Meatball McCann. Uh, I picked Erin to win, and she did it in spectacular fashion. Had her in a crucifix position multiple times, went for kimura, looked like she was gonna damn rip her shoulder arm out the damn shoulder, if not to cause a stress fracture. Oh my days, it was awful. I think my only thing I would say is the elbows that she was landing. Maybe she needs to hook up with Mr. Tony Ferguson because she should have bloodied up Mr. Molly McCann. She should have messed her up something proper. The ref, what were you doing? I think you could have stopped that a little bit earlier potentially, but it was cool. He let her go. She got submitted in the end, 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Give her $50,000. Andre Petroski, Wellington Thurman, interesting back and forth. Middleweight, I think Thurman maybe got the first round, in my opinion, and then Andre just did the thing, man. Early prelims. This Ottman Atazar, he's the dude who was in Fight Island, and there was someone sneaking in with a bag and all this business, and he got fired. Um, and he's like undefeated as well. I was expecting a lot more. He didn't come out looking particularly good. He looked off. Um, yeah, obviously they let him back in the UFC. Took Matt Frevola even. 1 round, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Looked real good. Knocked him out. Interesting to see Ottman come back. He didn't really show us much at all in that 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Karolina Kovacevic, as I said, it was a kind of like, she's made the necessary changes in her game and looked very, very good. Unanimous decision victory. Silvana Gomez Juarez. And what on earth were the judges doing? They had them waiting in the cage, come out, close up on the thing. Judges going back with Bruce Buffer. Oh, let me just scribble this out and let's rescore the thing in the middle of this. What on earth? Highly unprofessional. Um, Even Dana White was like, I've never ever seen that before in my life. Why would it have to happen in New York City, in MSG, where they're so strict with all of this and all of this and that? You can't do this and what? And they got judges doing that stupid shit. Not even on the prelims. I mean, yeah, it was actually the prelims, wasn't it? Early prelims. So luckily it was on the prelims, but not the early prelims. Like something that's non-televised. Crazy. Excellent performance from Carolina. If she can continue to improve and make improvements in her game, she ain't getting the strap, but she can get up there. She can definitely get up there. Michael Trizano flipping. They were both was just swinging for him. Song Woo Choi, ex is it Muay Thai or kickboxing champion, multiple time. He's crazy. I actually picked him to win. He showed very poor fight IQ. He's got all the tools to have beat Michael, but No, he did not. Michael did his thing. Montel Jordan, the Jordan. Thinking of the artist, Montel Jackson. Very good fighter. He just doesn't do enough. I mean, he did enough to win, but he needs to be finishing folk. Using that length and that range you got, like, come on, man. I'm excited. I think you've got a lot more to give us, when it comes to the actual matchups. You need to be putting in that work, man. I need to see more activity. I need to see you trying to finish folk. That's my only criticism. Carlos Ulberg, 3 minutes and 44 seconds first round. Yeah, he came out and did the thing. I was, as I say, I was very, very, very much entertained. The last few cards have been absolutely abysmal from the UFC, but this one, I don't know about being the best ever. Best this year, potentially, but that could just be a recency bias. But it was definitely a good card. I'm not too sure about Mr. White saying that every card he puts on, he wants it to be the best card ever. You clearly don't want to do that, especially when you do fights in the Apex. So let's just be real. But keep on doing it, man. Keep on putting on these kind of cards. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and all the rest of the good stuff. Sponsor on the old IG, Supreme of the UK. Go check that out. Get that merch.